Hey everyone, it's Jason and welcome back to Marvel Champions Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is part 2. If for some reason you didn't check out part 1, I don't know why. Go back, check it out. We look over Maria Hill and Nick Fury as our two brand new heroes of the set. We talk a little bit about the new formats. And at the end of the video, we go over the S.H.I.E.L.D. executive board scenario. I included it in there just because, one, it took a little bit of explaining to do, and it's going to make the second video longer. Two, because it's also, like, a full, like, separate, like, kind of campaign mode you can then add into other modes as a little encounter, as opposed to, like, just straight-up villains you have to fight. It's kind of an extra little clue-type game that you're playing in the things. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and hop in and look at our major villains. So let's start with our first one. Drop our camera down a little bit and we'll zoom in. We have the Black Widow. So this is Yelena, not Natasha. So kind of interesting because like we got Nebula and Gamora as alternate characters. So I wonder if we'll get her like at some point as just like an extra character, especially with all the movies and stuff. Alright, so I have Black Widow to start off. Level 1. 2 steam, 1 attack. She's a spy. 13 hit points per player. Force Interrupt. When a character you control attacks Black Widow, remove 1 threat from the main steam. You're on any crisis icons. Discard the top card of the encounter deck and resolve each preparation ability on that card. So you control Black Widow, remove 1 threat from the main scheme, ignoring it, and discard the top card and resolve it. So she's still going to take damage, it seems like. Awesome. So we got her level 2. So you want to be able to place 2 extra threats per player on the main steam, and then the rest of the cards same. But now she goes up to 16 health per player, and she has 2 and 2. Her 3, she has 3 and 2 for steam. Place 3 threat per player, and she goes up to 20 health per player. Alright. And then we have the Widow's Web. Main Steam A1. Black Widow 1, 2, and 3. If you're doing expert mode. Black Widow and Stanger encounter sets. 2 modular encounter sets. Aim Abduction and Aim Scientist, which we'll look at those ones next. Each player searches an encounter deck for a minion and puts it into play. Engage with them. Shuffle. So on the side, 10. The threat level is 10 per player. You track some missing S.H.I.E.L.D. specialist to the decommissioned stretch of the subway tunnel and discover her kidnapper's base of operations. X is the number of Black Widow stage. Okay, so it starts with that. It gets X plus per turn. If the stage is complete, players lose the game. So if you can't even find her, you lose the game, which makes sense. Alright, then she has 2 copies of Black Widow's gauntlets. Tech weapon attached to Black Widow gains Retaliate 1. Hero response. After a character you control attacks Black Widow, if no preparation ability was resolved, discard after resolving the Retaliate keyword. Preparation. Attach this card to Black Widow. Okay, so that's where the preparation is going to be. So that's kind of a fun way to add that into characters. We have like the spies in the other heroes, all preparation cards they can play. It's kind of like they're setting up for bigger things. This is what her. So she reveals this card as a boost. She gets to attach it to her and gets her extra attack. She has a grappling hook, which is not a good gun. Item, Black Widow. Attach Black Widow to an attachment. Force Interrupt. When a player plays an event card, cancel its effect and discard it, then discard this card. So it's either like a one-time effect or it's a preparation that can pop in and do something too. Discard one event card from your hand. So either comes in, it attaches to her, and then once something happens, you can go or it can preparation and discard it. Neat. Night Vision Goggles. Each encounter without a printed preparation ability gains preparation. Prevent all damage from this attack, and then discard Night Vision Goggles. Steam +1, and then attach it to Black Widow. And then she has the Stun Net. Item attached to your identity. Attached character cannot attack. Hero action. Exhaust a character you control. Discard this ability. Discard any player makes sure this ability. Preparation. After this attack, attach to the character. Attach this card to the attacking character. So it gives you the boost and it does the preparation. Awesome. Alright, so we have 2 copies of AIM Soldier. We get a lot of AIM in this campaign. AIM Commando. 1 Steam, 2 attack. Quick strike, preparation after attack, put a minion into play, engage with you. So they're going to keep coming at you. 2 copies of AIM Grunts. 1 Steam, 1 attack. 5 health. Guard, preparation. Put this minion into play, engage with you. Then resolve the attack against AIM Grunt instead. So just gets in your way. Some side steams. Automated defenses. Hinder 1. Each encounter card without a printed preparation ability gains preparation. Deal 1 damage to the attacking character. And then we have Destroy Evidence. Hinder 2 per player. Each other encounter card gains Insight 1. Reveal place 1 threat on the main steam. 2 copies of Attack Acrobatics. When revealed, if you are in the Ultra Hero form, change your hero form. Black Widow attacks you. Give her an additional boost card for this attack. For preparation, prevent all damage from this attack. In extra mode, deal that much damage to the attacking character. 2 copies of Covert Ops. When revealed, you are confused Black Widow steams. Preparation, place 1 threat on each steam. 2 copies of Dance of Death. When revealed, you deal 1 damage to character you control, deal 2 damage to a second character you control, deal 3 damage to a third character you control. Dang it. Preparation, deal 1 damage to each character you control. And her final 2 are Widow's Bite. When revealed, you are stunned, take 1 damage. 2 damage instead, you're already stunned. Preparation after attack, this attacker gains a stun. So I want to go back and look at her initial card, just to see, now we've seen all the preparations do. When this character you control attacks Black Widow, remove 1 threat from the main steam. Discard your top card in counter deck and resolve each preparation card. Okay, so anytime you attack her, she's going to get a draw, potentially get one of these preparation cards. If you get Night Vision Goggles, gives them all a bunch of preparation. That's kind of neat. I do wish for it said like Spy on their card. They do have this for other encounters like Temporal and Psionic and stuff like that. I wish they would have put preparation on that part too. It's just an extra quick reminder that it's a preparation card. Not that you can't see it, on the bottom here, but I think they should put it up there would have been kind of helpful. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. So as you're trying to attack her, she's going to keep having all these surprises come out at you. Much like a spy. Very cool. Alright, then we have our first minion encounter. We have AIM Abduction. So we have AIM Abductor. So minion 1 steam. I actually have 2 copies of that. 1 steam, 2 attack. AIM 4 health. When revealed, tuck the ally you control with the most remaining hit points under Abduct Superhumans. Otherwise, place 2 threats on Abduct Superhumans. If Abduct Superhuman is not in play, find it and put it into play. So for that, it says, Abduct Superhuman side steam. Surge. Force Interrupt. When ally leaves play, tuck it under here and place the threat here equal to its cost. Then place 1 acceleration token here. When defeated, put each ally tucked under here into play under its owner's control. Oh, interesting. So it's only 2 per player, which isn't a ton. But it's also going to surge, which sucks. But then every time one of your allies leaves play, defending, consequential damage, whatever, they're going to go under here. It's going to increase that threat and put an acceleration going. So you're going to keep going up every time. So you really have to get your teammates back before you do anything else. And then he's not going to help either. And then we have 2 copies of Nabbed. When revealed, if Abduct Superhumans is not in play, find it, put into play. Discard cards from the top of your deck until an ally is discarded, tuck it under Abduct Superhumans. Place that equal to that ally's cost and 1 acceleration on there. Yes, that's very interesting. So you really have to stop and focus on that. Cool. I like that. Alright, then we have our next one, AIM Science encounter. So we have AIM Scientist. 0 attack, 0 steam, 2 health. Surge and vulnerable, so discard character of stunned or confused. While an engaged player is engaged with another minion, AIM Scientist cannot be attacked. You have the boost on there. Or rather, accelerate. And then we're going to get 3 copies of AIM Soldiers, who have patrols, so you have to take them out before you can steam. When revealed, find AIM Scientist. Put it into play, engage with you. If it's already in play, it engages you. If AIM Scientist did not enter play this way, place 1 threat on the main steam. and then the side steam is mad science. Derogatorily referred to as beekeepers, members of advanced ideas mechanics, are brilliant but ruthless, seeking world domination through technological power. Hanger 2, each aim minion gains an acceleration token. Oh boy. Yes, these guys are going to keep pushing up them acceleration, and then the other cards are going to make it hard to deal with the threats as well. So we're going to have a bunch of aim guys we have to fight throughout this series, which is fun. Then we can just add these extra ones in, add them with the Black Widow set. You're going to have a bunch more to go against. Cool. Alright, so let's look at our second villain. We have a Batroc the Leaper, who has an A side. So Steam 1 and Attack 2, Batroc's Brigade, and Mercenary. Force response. After Batroc attacks, place one threat on alert level. So that's one of his cards. We'll see that in a minute. Force interrupt. When Batroc would be defeated, reset his hit points to 8 instead. Then remove 6 threat from the main Steam. So he has 8 hit points only, but every time you defeat him, instead of having like 8 or 10 per player, he just has 8. He just keeps coming back. But you gotta keep removing threats from the main Steam. So if they keep doing it too much, like basically you defeat him once, you might get lucky and defeat the Steam. Otherwise, he might end up getting to the point where you have to defeat him. You have to defeat him 4 or 5 times, depending on how badly he's steaming. So side B has 2 steam and 2 attack. After Batroc attacks, place 1 threat on alert level. Force interrupt, your back will be defeated. Resets hit points to 12 instead, which is his thing. Interesting. Alright, so then we have his main Steam. Infiltrate, aim, island, embassy. So using Batroc A or B, depending on which mode. Standard cards, 2 modular encounters. Aim, Science, and Batroc's Brigade. So we already saw the Aim Science one. So we're going to add Batroc's Brigade in there. Set up each resting captive ally aside. Put aside alert level environment into play, low side face up. In expert mode, place 2 extra threat on alert level. Alright, and if we flip that over, we have you sneak into the AIM Island Embassy in search of an abducted SHIELD specialist, Sarah Garas, and you come face to face with the mercenary known as Batroc the Leaper. Force interrupt. When the last player is removed from the Steam, advance to stage 2A. The players win by advancing. If this stage loses, okay, cool. So it starts with 12 per player. So each time you defeat him, he takes off 6, right? So if it starts with 12, 12 is what you need. It starts with 6 per player, and you need 12 per player. So yeah, he starts off with 6 per player. That would mean, if you're playing a 4-player game, you got to defeat him. Basically, each time you have to defeat him once per each player. Is what you have to do. But he's going to continually gain more and more stuff. Cool. Alright, locate missing persons main Steam. Now that you've penetrated the embassy, you need to locate Garas. You discover several holding cells in the embassy's basement. Hopefully one of them holds the kidnapped tech. Missing persons. Force interrupt. When the last player is removed from the Steam, put 1 set-aside rescue captive ally into play exhausted under any player's control. The player may advance to stage 3A. If they do not advance, place 3 per player threat here. Players win by advancing, but will need at least 1 rescue captive to survive. Okay, so basically what this means is that you find 1 person, you can go ahead and go, but ideally you want to find everybody, but you might be at the point where we don't have enough time or resources to keep doing that. We might just have to push forward. Interesting. Extract tactics. You didn't find guards, but you did discover several other civilian prisoners. You must get them out safely. When revealed, if the alert level is on high, do each player face down counter card. Otherwise, remove all threats from the alert level and flip it to its high side. In either case, place 2 on there if you're in expert mode. In expert mode, each main gains quick strike. Force interrupt. When enemies attack, it attacks a rescued captive instead. If there are no threats here, players win the game. If this stage is completed or there are no rescued civilian allies, players lose the game. Interesting. So we're playing a long game here. Alright. So we have our threat, our alert level environment card. which is low. If there's at least 4 per player threats here, remove all threats from here and flip this card. Force response. After a character is defeated except by consequential damage, place a threat here. Hero action, spend 1 resource of any type to remove 1 threat. Okay, so you basically keep spending your tokens to get rid of it, keep it down. And then if the alarm goes off, high, backtrack gets 1 steam and 1 attacks. If there are 4 more per player here, players lose the game. After a character is defeated except by consequential, place 1 threat and may spend 1 threat here to miss. Basically, once it flips over, you're just trying not to get defeated. Interesting. Alright, so you have 4 copies of Rescued Captive. 1 thwart, 1 attack, civilian, 5 health. Victory -1. Does not count against your ally limit. Card abilities cannot remove this ally from play. Hero action, exhaust Rescued Captive. Remove 1 threat per player from the main Steam. Interesting. So you just want, again, you can get 1 of these guys, or you can try and get all 5 of them. Basically, if there are none left over in that last mission, you lose the game. Or sorry, all 4 of them. So if you can get all 4, you have a lot better chance of surviving until the end of the game. Alright, now we're going to get to some actual backtrack abilities. So heightened reflexes, attachment condition. Attach to backtrack uses 4 leap counters. Playing backtrack will take any of the damage, prevent 2 of that damage, and remove 1 leap counter from here. Boost, attach it to him. We have 2 copies of the Embassy Guard. Some more aim we have to fight against. Guard Invulnerable. If alert is on high side, discard Dane Surge. When defeated, place 1 threat on the alert level. We get 2 Embassy Patrols. 2 Steam, 1 attack. Aims, Patrol Invulnerable. If alert level is on high, this card gains 1 insight. When defeated, place 1 threat on the alert level. I like how the aim guys, a lot of them here have the new vulnerable thing, so it's like, yeah, they're soldier stuff, but it's like Hydra. It just takes crap ton of damage. They're soldiers, basically. The hand are ninjas, so they get to do stuff, they just die, right? But then you get the aim guys who are like, oh, we're here, but we're scientists. Like, yeah, we have guns, but we don't really fight. So that's kind of fun. Alright, we have a side scene. Commandeer Security Office. When revealed, if alert size on its high side, place 1 acceleration token here. When defeated, remove 1 per person threat from the alert level. Just a way for you to help take down that alert level. He's got 2 copies of Leaping Kick. When revealed, an alter ego, backrock schemes. When revealed as a hero, attacks the ally at the most remaining hit points. His ally gains, his attack gains overkill. If there are no allies in play, he attacks you. And then finally, we get 4 copies of Security Cameras. When revealed, alter ego, remove 1 threat from the alert level. This card gains Surge. When revealed, for each character you control, choose either to exhaust that character, place 1 threat, alert level 2, if it's on high side. Nice. Awesome, so that's backtrack. So yeah, his whole mechanic there, or his whole game thing is going to be about trying to remove stuff from the threat, but every time you defeat him, it's going to help. So if you can take him out, it'll help remove threat from the Steam a lot quicker. And then sometimes you want to beat that Steam multiple times to get them rescued guys. Playing this alarm constantly, so you got to constantly be dealing with that as well. Trying to like take out the alarm or keep that down versus spending cards taking out backtrack. Yes, it's basically, are you going to stay in alter ego mode and be steaming and try and get rid of the steams, or are you going to be trying to go combat and taking out minions and backtrack, but then every time you do that, you're upping the security, which is going to make the game harder for you. So yeah, interesting back and forth there. Alright, and then to go with that, we have an encounter set, Backtrack's Brigade. We have Machete. 1 steam, 2 attack with 3 health. Surge Invulnerable. Machete gains Piercing. When defeated, shuffle Machete into the encounter deck. With each Machete demise, the title passes to a member of the Lopez family. Oh, it's interesting mechanic for why it keeps coming back. Rapido. 1 steam and 3 attack. Gains range and can deal indirect damage. When revealed, deal 1 damage to each character you control. Boost, deal 1 damage to each character you control. And Zaran. Gains plus X attack, where X is a printed resource cost of the card tucked under him. When revealed, tuck a weapon upgrade you control under Zartan. Otherwise, tuck the top card of your deck under Zartan. Interesting. Backtrack's Brigade. Money won't buy loyalty, but it helps. I love that they have the old school backtrack in there, not the new brown one they have on the cards. Each minion gains toughness. When revealed, give each enemy a toughness status card. Hero interrupt when you reveal a non-elite minion. Spend 3 resources of any type, cancel the effects of that minion and discard it. Interesting, so as you get the non-elite guys, you can just get rid of them. And then the last card for that set is Soldiers of Fortune. When revealed, choose. Spend 3 resources of any type, or find a mercenary minion. Reveal it. If no mercenary enters play this way, it gains 3. So basically pay them off, or they're going to come in and attack you. Boost, choose to either spend 1 resource of any type, or this card gains 3 boosts. Oh, dang. That would suck. Awesome. That's pretty cool. I like glow encounter sets. Our third campaign villain is M.O.D.O.K. SCAR stands for Machine Design Only. No, wait. No, I forgot what M.O.D.O.K. stands for. Machine Only Design Something Killing? It'll come to me later. Weird. 2 steam, 1 attack, aerial, cyborg, and psionic. Retaliate 1. Force interrupt when M.O.D.O.K. would be defeated. If holding cell is in play, remove 2 locked counters from it and reset M.O.D.O.K's hit points to 10. Instead, otherwise, players win the game. So if there's no holding cells in play, you win the game. So basically, we gotta try and free these holding cells. If we flip the side B, a little bit harder. 3 steaming, 1 attack. He has Retaliate 2 and Steady. Although it's the same thing, except now he has 14 hit points. He has 1 main steam, upgrading Adaptoids. So M.O.D.O.K. in there. 1 encounter set, Scientist Supreme. Create a holding cell deck. Put 1 random Adaptoid environment into play. 2 environments instead of an next mark. Set the other aside. Each player searches the encounter deck for a copy of an Adaptoid and reveals it. So create a holding cell deck. Put 1 random Adaptoid environment into play. And set the others aside. Each player searches the encounter deck for a copy of Adaptoid. Okay, well, I guess that's weird. Why am I... Put 1 into play and set the others aside. Then search the encounter decks for a copy of them. Why am I not just finding one of them and putting them in there? I don't know. Alright, I want to look at this. So, during the campaign, and during the setup, each player is instructed to create a holding cell deck. To do this, shuffle together the 4 double-sided holding cell cards, 105 through 8, each with an inhuman ally on its reverse. Place in this deck near the main steam with its holding cell side face up. The top card of this deck is in play. The holding cell enters play either during setup or when the last locking card is removed from the previous card. The text on the holding cell places 2 locks per player on that card. Objective scenario is to free all 4 inhuman allies from their holding cells by removing the locked counters from each holding cell, and then to reduce M.O.D.O.K's hit points to 0. Locked counters can be removed by hero actions on the holding cell, reducing M.O.D.O's hit points to 0, or by effective various things. Okay, so we're just setting up a special deck of holding cell cards. Alright. Force Snipe. When the stage will be completed, put 1 random set-aside Adaptoid environment into play. Instead, if there are no set-aside Adaptoid environments, players lose the game. Okay, so every time this one gets completed, it puts a thing in there. So it's just trying to... Otherwise, remove all threats from here and shuffle each Adaptoid minion from the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. So when completed, put 1 random set-aside Adaptoid environment into play. If there are no Adaptoid environments, players otherwise shuffle. Otherwise, remove all threats from here. Shuffle Adaptoid minion from the encounter discard pile. So if you defeated one, that goes back in there. I get that. Put a random Adaptoid environment into play. Set aside the others. Each player searches the encounter deck for a copy of Adaptoid and reveals it. That's where I'm confused, though. Because there's only 4 Adaptoids in this deck. Oh. Okay, no, I get it. There is Adaptoid minion cards, and then there are environment cards that have Adaptoid on them. I gotcha. That's why I was getting myself confused. Alright, okay, so let's look at our holding cells here. Anchors play 2 per player lock counters on it. Force interrupt. When the last lock counter is removed from here, flip this card to put a flying inhuman into play under any player's control. Hero action. Spend 2 energy resources or 3 risks of any type to remove 1 lock counter from here. And if we flip that over, there's our ally we're going to gain. Flying Inhuman. 2 thwart 1 attack. Inhuman and rescued. It does not count against your ally limit. Response after his ally thwarts. Remove 1 threat from another steam. Force response after his ally leaves play. Flip it and place it on the bottom of the holding cell deck. Ooh. So you have to actually defeat all. You have to not only unlock all of them and then defeat M.O.D.O.K. You also have to keep all of your Inhumans alive for that entire time. Because if you don't, they're just going to go back to the bottom of the deck. That's pretty cool as well. Alright, so it's the same one. Same exact stuff, except it's Psionic Inhuman. And it's 2 genius resources. So here's our Psionic Inhuman, Psionic, and Rescued. So allies thwarts remove 1 lock counter from a holding cell. After cards leaves, flip it, put it back in there. We have this one, same thing, except it's Saragara's, and she says it's been a wild resource or 3 of any type. And she's our one we were looking for in our last campaign. She's a S.H.I.E.L.D. member. Her attacks gain overkill and ranged. And then the last one is for the strong Inhuman, she's 2 strength or 3 resources. And we gain strong Inhuman. Toughness does not count against your ally limit. Cool. Then we have the upgrades. So these are the Adaptoid environment cards. So flying upgrade. So the Adaptoids turned into these different Inhumans. Each Adaptoid gets 1 steam and gains 1 insight and then gains the aerial trait. They fly now? They fly now. Psionic upgrade. Each Adaptoid and gains villainous and a psionic trait. Remember when your psionic defense training? Saragara's upgrades. Each upgrade gains the elite trait. Each upgrade has +1 attack and gains overkill and range. Well, that's just great. These things can now control my powers better than I can. And then strong upgrade. Each upgrade gains +1 attack and gains toughness and gains the brute. I don't think we like her when she's angry. So this is kind of neat. So yeah, so in the beginning of the game, each player gets an Adaptoid fighting them, and then as they get discarded, you can complete the mission. They keep getting reshuffled back, and they keep coming out. These environments can keep piling up, though, to make it a lot harder to fight them. So I have 4 copies of the Adaptoid. Check Adaptoid environments for modifiers to these values. When defeated, remove one all-purpose counter from an environment. Boost after its activation. Shuffle Adaptoid into the encounter deck. Alright, then M.O.D.O.K. himself is going to get some boosts. Automated mobile suit and attachment gives him +1 attack attached to M.O.D.O.K. M.O.D.O.K. gets 5 hit points, +5 hit points. Force response after M.O.D.O.K.'s hit points are reset, discard this card. I will crush you like a bug. Focusing Crystal gets 1 steam and 1 attack. Force response after M.O.D.O.K.'s hit points are reset, discard this card. But also gains the advance. M.O.D.O.K. challenges Sonic powers through a crystal on his giant forehead. We're going to get some nanobots attachments. Force response after M.O.D.O.K. activates, heal 1 damage from him. After M.O.D.O.K. resets, discards. Microscopic machines keep the Doomsday Chair in working order. Sonic Force Field. Oh, I love this. This is from the Secret Wars when he's trying to woo Angela. Attached to an enemy game stalwart. Force interrupt. When attached to enemy would take any amount of damage, place it here instead. If there's reached 5 damage, discard this. He has a Psionic Machetes. Gains attached to piercing. Force response after is reset, discard this card. So basically every time you defeat him, his cards go away. Reverse Engineer. So he gains a PIM helmet. Is that what that's supposed to be? Gains. X is equal to the printed cost of the card tucked here. When revealed, tuck an upgrade control under, otherwise tuck the top card of your deck under here. Force response. After much hit points are reset, discard this card. Interesting. So basically, there's a little extra abilities that make him stronger, do a little bit extra stuff, and then when he gets defeated, he has to kind of rebuild himself back up. We're going to get 2 copies of Aim Jailers. We have Guard and 2 attack, no steaming. When revealed, Aim Jailer attacks the rested ally with the fewest remaining hit points, otherwise put 1 lock counter on the holding cell. Just some side steams. Hostage situation. M.O.D.O.K cannot take damage. When revealed, attacks the arrested ally face up here. Attached ally is no longer under a player's control. When defeated, he takes the control of the attached player. Just pulls him off the board for a minute. Psionic Enhancement. Hinder 1 per player and boost. Give the activating enemy an additional boost card. And he's got some treachery, because of course M.O.D.O.K has treachery. It's alive. When revealed, each player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for an adaptive minion reveals it. Deal each player do not engage the minion this way face down counter card. And his last 2 are Psionic Blast. Reveal Alter Ego. If you are confused, M.O.D.O.K steams. And when revealed, take X indirect damage, where X is M.O.D.O.K steam. Confuse each character that takes damage this way. Nice. Alright, yeah, so it's going to be a pretty interesting one. Trying to rescue those guys and get rid of the locks, while maintaining having to keep getting rid of the adaptoids. They're going to keep fighting you. And let's just throw some extra stuff in there. We have our side encounter here. We have Scientist Supreme. So he's a 2 steam, 1 attack, 6 health, aim genius. Victory 1, villainous, vulnerable. Scientist Supreme, attack, stain, piercing, and range. Go to the high-tech suit to Scientist Supreme, wields great power, both physical and political. We are also going to get Monica Rappaccini. Aim genius, 3 steam, 1 attack, 5 health. Victory -1. Vulnerable, discards character, picks stunned or confused. While Scientist Supreme is in victory display, Monica gains villainous. The second command of Aim Monica has a sight set on the title of Scientist Supreme. I also love the reference with this, because if you played way back in the day Marvel Ultimate Alliance, that was the whole plot there. It was also the plot behind the Secret War, not Secret Wars, but the Secret War with Nick Fury, where he, I think it was her, took down her, because she came back and started attacking all the heroes undercover. This is kind of a neat throwback. I believe it was her. I hope so, otherwise I'm just getting my comics all confused. Diplomatic immunity. Attacking the leader of a sovereign nation is a political fraud. You'll have to handle Scientist Supreme delicately. When revealed, place 1 acceleration token here for each aim minion in your victory display. And then the last 2 for that one are Diplomatic Sanctions. Surge. When revealed, discard 1 card from your hand for each aim minion in your victory display, and then boost this card gains boost for each aim minion in a victory display. So basically, just as you take out more of his beehives, he gets stronger. Cool. Alright, then we are on to our 4th villain. So we've defeated the Spy, Black Widow. We took out Batroc and got into there, and into AIM, and then we took out M.O.D.O.K. Now we're going in a little bit different direction. We're going to fight Citizen V of the Thunderbolts. So this kind of places an interesting scenario, because it's kind of like, if you know the history behind the Thunderbolts, then yeah, you kind of maybe can get maybe why you might fight against them initially, but otherwise they're supposed to be a team of superheroes. But they're also kind of the whole thing of like, you're fighting against S.H.I.E.L.D, so it's kind of be like maybe the thought process of, I think in the story, it's going to kind of be like, Civil War-ish time. Again, we talked about like Maria Hill in the first video about like Norman Osborn taking over S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff after, that was after Siege, but it was at times when like Nick Fury and some of the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents have been against the government, because they're not the government, they're just an organized force. So this is kind of like, hey, maybe some of the heroes think they're not shield aren't in the right. So Citizen Bee cannot be defeated unless there are at least one per player Thunderbolt means in the victory display. Interesting. When Citizen Bee would activate against you during step 2 of the building phase, you engage with a Thunderbolt means Citizen Bee does not activate and heals 4 damage instead. Nice, so basically he's going to have his minions helping him out. And if we flip to side B, he has a little bit better stats. During step 2, and he heals for 6 damage. So basically the same thing, minus 16 health per player. Alright, so our Steam is Apprehending Rogue Agents. Let's just run out. Here's Black Widow and backtrack with him. She's just the Thunderbolt standard. This is standard encounters. She's one modular sect plus one additional modular sect, each with an elite Thunderbolt minion. Each of those minions is set aside and shuffle the rest of the encounter decks like this. Reveal Justice for Lightning environment. So yeah, your basic setup is just this in the standard encounter sets, but then you want to have one modular set plus one for each additional with an elite Thunderbolt. There are 6 in this set, so that's 4 players plus one additional one. And then also a little heads up spoilers that in the next hero packs for Black Panther and Silk, they're also going to include more Thunderbolt encounter decks. So this one's just going to get more interesting as more characters come out. And I don't know if the other characters from the hero packs will have more of them. But yeah, that's a cool way to do that. Where then, hey, as you get more of these, you have definitely a way more to add more cards to this. We can go the easy way or the fun way. Each Thunderbolt minion gains guard. Force response. After a player attacks a Thunderbolt minion, that player engages the player. The stage is complete, players lose the game. So it wants us to put the Justice-like Lightning environment into play. Each player reveals a random set-aside Thunderbolt minion. Reveal an attached remaining set-aside Thunderbolt minion face up here. In Expert mode, each player tough status card. Justice like lightning should ever appear to few men in ruin, but all men must fear. But to all men fear. And we flip to the other side. Thunderbolt's backup. A minion attack here is in play and can be targeted by attacks and ability. When the round ends, attack the Thunderbolt minion here with the most damage here, swapping it with any other minion already attached here, if any. Heal 1 damage per player from attack minion. The next one heal 1 additional damage and give that minion a tough status card. Oh, that's kind of fun. So like then they can keep coming back in and say, oh, there's enough Thunderbolts so we can keep swapping out different ones. Set aside Thunderbolt. Did I miss the part where we set aside the Thunderbolt? Oh, here we go, yeah. Just shuffle aside each of their Thunderbolts. Interesting. So then you don't have to even search for the encounter. You just automatically have to start fighting them. That's cool. Citizen V's sword attachment. Weapon. When revealed, attach Citizen V, he activates against you. Hero response. After you attack and damage Citizen V, spend 2 strength resources to discard this card. We get our first Thunderbolt minion. We have Jolt. 0 Steam, 1 attack. Villainous. When defeated, place 3 threat on this main Steam. Hero action. If your exhaust your hero, place 1 parlay counter on Jolt. If there are 3 or more parlay counters here, remove Jolt from the game. She is not defeated. Alright, I will explain that in a minute. When we're done with this, before we go to the next village, I'll explain why we're going to do that. For people that don't know. 3 copies of Innocent Bystanders. Use 4 bystander counters. Force response. After you attack an enemy or enemies attacking you, either spend 1 resource of any type or place 1 threat on the main Steam. Remove 1 bystander counter from here. So just taking them out. The Coming Storm. Thunderbolts, Let's Bridge his Vigilantes to Justice. When revealed, each player engages for the minion. Engage with them clockwise from them. And then we have Rumbling Thunder. When revealed, each player engages a minion, engages the clockwise player from them. Oh, so basically the same thing. Just one has drawing a card, one has a boost. You get 2 copies of Down But Not Out. Treachery. When revealed, choose a random Thunderbolt minion from the victory display and reveal it. Place damage on that minion until it has 5 hit points remaining, then remove this card from the game. If no minion was played this way, it gains Surge. And then we have 2 copies of Tapped In. When revealed, engage the Thunderbolt minion with the least damage that is not engaged with you if that minion activates against you. No minion is faceless if I activates against you. Don't worry, Backrock. I got this. Moonstone. Okay, cool. So this is a very interesting way to do a little encounter. So it's like, it's not a lot of extra stuff in here, and there's not really a big thing other than just defeating all the Thunderbolts. And every time there's Thunderbolts out, they're going to block and protect Citizen V so you can't defeat him. But then, yeah, you gotta keep adding more and more Thunderbolts. And what's cool with the idea of the Thunderbolts is there's been so many different incarnations of the teams over the years, is that they could add more and more potential things to this as time went on to make this more interesting. Alright, so let's go ahead and start looking at the encounters for each one of these. So we have Moonstone with Gravitational Pull. So she has 2 steam, 2 attacks, 16 health. Holy crap. Elite, Aerial Elite and Thunderbolt, Villainous, and Victory 1. Force Response. After Moonstone activate, give her a tough stat or and she gets tough. That's because she can go intangible. I love this. Rule of the Sky. Each aerial character gains +1 attack. Boost. If the activating enemy has aerial trait, giving additional boost. I love that because there's so many cards that have aerial, not enough stuff that affects that. 2 copies of Gravitational Pull. When revealed, find Moonstone and reveal her. If she's already in play, she engages you. Moonstone activates against you. If no enemy activated, gains Surge. And then 2 copies of Psychological Manipulation. When revealed, Alter Ego, discard an ally or support you control, otherwise gain Surge. When revealed as a hero, deal X damage to friendly character, the fewest remaining hit points where X is equal to your hero's attack. Nice. Alright, our next one is Hard Sound Encounter with Songbird. Melissa Gold. What is Moonstone's real name? It's blanking on me now. It'll come to me, probably. Yeah, she has 16 health, too. These guys are nuts to have to fight. I like the idea, though, because they're supposed to generally be, like, full-on heroes, or... Because if you're using them in the encounter with this, it's the idea is you're fighting a team of Thunderbolts, a team of big villains, as opposed to just saying, I'm fighting one major villain with a bunch of minions. Aerial Elite and Thunderbolt. Villainous, Victory 1. Force Response. When Songbird activates, give her 1 additional boost. Card for this activation. She has Solid Sound Construct attachments. Attach Songbird, otherwise attach the villain. Attached enemy loses Stalwart. Force Interrupt. When attached enemy would gain Confuse or Stun status card, discard this instead. Then Hard Sound Bindings. Attached to your identity. Force Interrupt. When you would attack, discard Hard Sound Bindings instead. Then you are stunned. You are stunned. If you are already stunned, activating an additional boost card. Sonic Bubble. Can't touch this. Force Interrupt. When any amount of damage would be dealt to an enemy, remove the equal amount of threat from here instead. And she also has Aerial, so she works well as Songbird, or Moonstone. 2 copies of Hard Sound. When revealed, Songbird has revealed. Here, if she's already in play, she engages you. Songbird activates against you. If no enemy activates this way, gains Surge. Boost. Give the activating enemy an additional boost card. Cool. Alright, so for our third one, we're actually going to jump in. We got Black Widow. This is awesome. The fact we can play against her in any mode, if you like. But again, look, it has 14 health. 2 steam, 1 attack. So these guys aren't going to be ones you're going to want to just throw in willy-nilly into other sets. Force Villainous, Victory 1, Retaliate 1. After Black Widow steams, against you search the encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of Handspring. Attack it or otherwise you are confused. So here's our 2 copies of Handspring. Let's have Kate Bishop, which I was kind of hoping we might get. Also nice throwback to the movie, or the TV series, Hawkeye. Handspring says Preparation attached to Black Widow, otherwise attached to the villain. So this is why I say I wish they would have had Preparation on all the other cards like that. Force Interrupt. When attacked enemy would take damage from an attack, deal the damage to the attacking character instead. Discard this. Prior to the Red Room. After dominating her cohort in the Red Room, Yelena Belova set out to prove herself as the greatest Black Widow. When revealed, place one additional threat here for each preparation card in play. So yeah, this works really well if you'd actually throw this into her deck, because then it'll really trigger as well. And then we have 2 copies of Pale Widow Spider. Treachery. When revealed, find Black Widow and reveal her. If she's already in play, she engages you. Activates against you. If no enemy activates, ready gains Surge. Boost. You're confused. If you're already confused, place 1 threat on the main steam. Alright, our next Thunderbolt is Radioactive Man. Cheng. I don't remember his last name. It's Cheng something. He's a Chinese superhero. Or a supervillain, depending on what he's fighting. 18 health. 1 steam, 2 attack. Elite. Thunderbolt, Victory 1, Villainous. After Radioactive Man activates against you, deal 1 damage to each character you control. He has 2 copies of Radiation Exposure Attachment. Attach their identity. If the attached enemy has a gamma trait, this attachment gives him +1 attack instead. That's funny because they show She-Hulk on there. Force Response. After you recover, discard 1 card from your hand, discard this card. Who did Radioactive Man originally fight? I want to say maybe it was Captain Marvel. No, that was John Sock. Maybe it was She-Hulk was the original nemesis. Runaway Nuclear Reaction. Force Response. After Radioactive Man has dealt any amount of damage, place equal amount of threat there. If there are 10 or more threat here, deal 10 damage to each character and discard Nuclear Reaction. Wow, it starts with 5, and you have to deal with this. Interesting. That's cool. Alright, then the last 2 is he has the Power of the Atom. When revealed, find a Radioactive Man. Reveal him. If he's already in play, he engages you. Radioactive Man activates against you if no enemy cards active gain Surge. Boost, take 2 indirect damage. All basically the same for those. Alright, our next one is we have M.O.D.O.K 4. Steam 1 and Attack 2, 16, Aerial, Elite, and Thunderbolt. Villainous, Victoria 1. Each character without aerial trait cannot make basic defense against M.O.D.O.K 4's attacks. All the weaponry of a fighter jet, and then some. The Supersonic counter. I believe this is Abe. I was trying to think. My name is going between 2 points. Abe Jenkins. He has blasters. Gives him 1 attack item, or tech and weapon. Attached to M.O.D.O.K 4 of those attached to enemy with the highest attack. Attached enemy gains overkill and ranged. Here's response. After you attack and damage the enemy, spend 2 energy resources to discard this. Heat-seeking missiles. Attached to M.O.D.O.K 4, a villain. Uses 4 missile counters. Force response. After an attached enemy attacks, you remove 1 missile and they take 2 indirect damage. Aerial dogfight. I think I saw a couple of these are fighting the Wrecking Crew. Side steam, Hinder 2 per player. Reduce the damage each aerial character takes from each attack by 2 unless the attacker or attack has aerial trait and the range, or the attack has ranged. That's cool. You get a combination of these. Then we have 2 copies of Supersonic. Whenever you're able to find M.O.D.O.K, put him into play, he engages the others gain Surge. Same as all the rest of them. Boosts his activations and attack, it gains overkill and range. Alright, then our final Thunderbolt in this set is a Batroc. 1 steam and 2 attack. Villainous, Victory 1, 16 health. When Batroc, interrupt when Batroc engages, you discard 1 card from your hand. Un zero vote in God. So, think about it this way, right? He has 16 health. His normal card, his A side, has 8. So it's basically like twice you got to defeat him as a villain. So it's like playing a 2-player game. Coupe de Forde. Frodre? I might be saying that terribly wrong. When a minion engages a player discards top X card of the deck, where X is number of boost icons on that minion. Place 1 threat here for each minion, or each resource played. This Discards the top cards of their deck where X is the number of boost icons. Place 1 threat here for each energy resource discarded this way. We have 2 copies of the Treachery Backtrack the Leaper. When revealed by Backtrack, activates against you, no enemies again surge. Discard 1 card from your hand. And then his last 2 are Parcours du Combattant. That's kind of neat showing him doing the leaping there. Kind of weird though to jump there to get to that one spot. But surge when revealed, each player engages a minion engaged with clockwise from them. Boost after attack resolves. Engage a minion in play that is not engaged with you. Awesome. Okay, so we're down to the final boss. So before we reveal the final boss of the game, the 2 things I want to mention is, one, we're going to look at the last encounter set first. But otherwise, we're going to talk about Thunderbolts really quick. So if you're not familiar with the Thunderbolts, the whole concept or idea of them is, spoiler alert for this and for the next thing. So if you don't want spoilers, click off. So we're gonna show the redacted villain we didn't know about, but if you already know about the Thunderbolts, you already know who the villain is. So the Thunderbolts were the Masters of Evil, a bunch of villains that turned over to be heroes when the Fantastic Four and the Avengers disappeared during Onslaught Heroes Reborn era. So they came in to replace it. They're like, we'll pretend to be heroes and we'll do stuff around the background, but then they slowly decided, hey, we kind of like being heroes. And they turned on Citizen V, who was their boss, who is Baron Zemo. And then over the years, the Thunderbolts have kept going on, and they've always kind of been a way for like villain characters to act as less villainous characters. Kind of like a reformation thing. Luke Cage led a team for a while with a bunch of different guys like Juggernaut, Jekyll and Hyde, or Mr. Hyde. There is Red Hulk's team, which had Punisher, Deadpool, Ghost Rider, Elektra, and they were kind of like a red theme team. It was Red Hulk's team, and they were doing kind of like not the hero-y characters, but they're trying to do heroic thingies, but sometimes not in the best of ways. There was also Norman Osborn, when he's director of S.H.I.E.L.D., he had the Thunderbolts, which is literally like villain characters being villains but posing as heroes. So they're doing what the original Thunderbolts were, except they were doing it in that correct direction. They're doing it the same way. It was like, they just had some of the bad villains, like Headhunter. I know Spider-Man, Venom, Mac Gargan Venom was in there for a bit helping out. Bullseye, some of them were also part of the Avengers too. There's that kind of whole thing. Yeah, it's kind of a neat idea. So then you have like Moonstone used to be, I think she's always been Moonstone, which was an older version. But like Songbird used to be Screaming Mimi. Mach 4 used to be the Beetle. We haven't seen Atlas, but he used to be a big guy too, and then that's why Jolt was interesting, because we had Jolt in here that had the parlay icon, had the ability to parlay. But that's because Jolt joined the team of superheroes as a superhero, and then eventually she kind of realizes what they were, and she wasn't sure to be. So that's kind of that. All right, so let's hop into our final mini encounter. Is we have S.H.I.E.L.D. Sometimes the S.H.I.E.L.D. has to fight S.H.I.E.L.D. So S.H.I.E.L.D. Troopers, we have 3 copies of this card. 0 steam, 2 attack, 4 health. Patrol and vulnerable. When defeated, the engaged player discards 1 S.H.I.E.L.D. ally or support they control. Otherwise, place 2 threat on the main steam. Just come peacefully, no one gets hurt. Then we have arrest warrants for Maria Hill and Nick Fury. S.H.I.E.L.D. Alter Ego action. Exhaust your identity or 1 S.H.I.E.L.D. card you control and search the encounter deck. Discard pile for a S.H.I.E.L.D. minion and reveal it. And then we have Disavowed, which is Watch is locked out. S.H.I.E.L.D. Executive Board has disavowed all knowledge of your activities and cut off your resources. Increase the resource cost of each S.H.I.E.L.D. card by 1. When revealed, place 1 threat here for each S.H.I.E.L.D. card in play. So that's kind of an interesting little extra encounter. I just wanted to do that one last because it's neat. in what we're doing. So, alright, let's look at our final villain. We have Baron Zemo, who has A1, 3 steam, 2 attack, Thunderbolts. Heinrich Zemo. When Force Interrupt, when Baron Zemo would be defeated, reset his hit points to 12 instead, removing 3 secret encounters from among the board member environment. So if we go way back to the beginning of the video, I kind of showed them. Go back to video 1, I talked about them. So this is kind of interesting because all the other sets can be played and you can pretty much just ignore that whole thing if you don't want to use them. His, unfortunately, you're going to have to use the board member thing to be able to play as him. So if we flip him over to side 2, he has Unmasked. So 3 steam to attack. When Baron Zemo activates against you, either place 1 secret counter on a board member or give Baron Zemo an additional boost or activation card. So this is definitely a way where you could play as him without having to play with the board members. You could here too, but it kind of just defeats the whole purpose, the whole thing there. But here is the difference, so he doesn't reset his hit points. So he has 18 per player. This side, he only has 12. So it's kind of interesting. You can play him either way. Play him with the board members. Have to keep defeating him. So interesting. So we have B1 here. So when Interrupt, reset hit points to 16, remove 3 secrets. Or the other side, he has 22 per. He has Steady. Gets an additional card. Zemo's Manipulations. Play either 1 or B1, depending on which side. Baron Zemo, Shield, Executive Board, Evidence, Standard Encounters, 2 Modular Encounters, Scientist Supreme, and the Shield. Prepare the Evidence Board. Each board member environment in play. If not playing a campaign mode, play 2 secret encounters on each board member environment. So basically, it's like if you're going to add these in as a modular, you just add 2 secrets to start. Otherwise, you set them up according to the book. Response. After the player phase ends, the first player may place 2 secret counters on a board member environment. There's no secret encounters on it to gain 2 cards from the shield envelope, 1 card instead in campaign mode. The player may advance to stage 2A and make their accusations. So basically the idea here is that your play as a board members is kind of a clue thing. You're trying to deduct what 3 cards are in the envelope you can't see by gaining the other 6 cards, and it'll suss out. And here's what you can do is that by the end of the game, by the end of the campaign, or if you're playing this by itself, playing by the end of the campaign, they have all these different rounds to try and get these and find this out. Here's where you get the chance to I can just do some actively trying to do this, but you have to do it while not trying to let this complete itself. For the accusation, you gather all the evidence you can. All that remains to make your accusations. Make an accusation by guessing a means, motive, and opportunity along with the member of the board associated with the combination and campaign. This member is accused. When revealed, do the following. Use the cards in the aim envelope to identify the mole. For each guess you got wrong, place 1 secret counter on each board member card. If you accuse the wrong board member, place 3 secret counters on the accused. Then advance to stage 3A. So why is that going to make that harder? Because if they flip over, they have a bunch of negative effects. And then fighting Zemo. You unmask Zemo's deception and expose his associates' identities. When revealed, flip Baron Zemo to his unmasked side. This represents his hit points to his printed hit value. Find the sword and attack him. So he goes from basically you can keep defeating him, and then it slowly tries to remove the counters from the board members. And he just keeps regenerating his X number of health until you decide to finally accuse him. And then he goes to I just have X number, and I have health per player. So here's kind of our mystery thing. We thought we might be getting Falcon and Winter Soldier, and here's a good point showing that we might get them in the future as well. Bring Baron Zemo as accomplice of justice. When revealed, equip the mole to its attachment side and attach it to Baron Zemo. Place 1 per player threat here for each secret counter board member. So it's going to get this is going to get even closer if you got a lot of them guesses wrong, because you're going to add a bunch of counters. Alright, then what does he do? He has Baron Zemo's sword. Attacks Baron Zemo. Force response, Baron Zemo attacks and defeats a character. Place 1 secret counter on the board member environment to defeat his secret encounters. Hero action, spend 3 attack or 3 energy to remove, or 3 physical or 3 energy to remove secret from the board member. discards card, and it gives him 2 attack. Reluctant Foe. Treat attached hero as an elite minion with steam equal to its printed thwart. Replace its printed text box with villainous. When defeated, remove this and Reluctant Foe from the game. When revealed, search your collection for a hero whose title does not match the character in play and put it into play and engage with your attached card. So it's kind of neat. So with the board members, we have ways to find pull cards from outside our set. This is another way to do it. I like that in a general concept of like, hey, I have ways to utilize all these other cards I have. The only downside to it is if you have your cards organized, then it means, okay, now I have to go back through and put these cards back at the end. And the thing is, if you don't have them, like if you have all your hero decks made as you bought them, and you pull a card out of one of those, now you have to go, okay, I gotta go back and put this back in this person's deck, this card back in that person's deck. So it could kind of be a little annoying. We have 2 copies of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent. Quick Strike Vulnerable. When S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent activates or is defeated, add a secret counter to the board member with the fewest secret counters. So you're just going to keep adding more in there. We have some side schemes. Divided Loyalties. Hinder 1. An additional cost for a player to attack, thwart, or defend against an ally. That player may spend 1 resource of any type. When defeated, remove 1 per player secret card from amongst the board members. Undermine Support. S.H.I.E.L.D. takes orders from me now. Hinder 1 per player. An additional cost for a player to ready a support. That player must spend 1 resource of any type. When defeated, remove 1 per player secret encounter from the board members. So this, yeah, if you don't like the board member thing, don't play this one encounter, unfortunately. 2 copies of Battle of Wits. When revealed, Baron Zemo Steams. His activation will place any threat on the main steam. You may spend X Genius to prevent that and remove X counters from among board members. 2 copies of Might Makes Right. When revealed, place 2 as an alter ego. Place 2 secret counters on a board member, the fewest encounters, and as a hero, he attacks if no characters take damage. Remove 3 secret counters from the board members. And then finally, we have the last 2 ones are the ends justify the means. When revealed, Baron Zemo defeats a minion with the fewest remaining hit points, he steams, or discard an ally support you control. Remove secret counters among the board members equal to its printed cost. Cool. So that one's kind of going to be interesting because it's all about like doing the stuff to figure out the board members and get rid of them if you haven't already completed a bunch of it earlier throughout the campaign, or if you're just playing this as a one-off, and then you have to just work on defeating him. But you still have to deal with the board members because they could still sit there and come back and flip over and have some big negative effects on you. Awesome. Alright, so that's pretty cool. It's a neat idea. I just don't like the whole, if you don't like the board member thing, you're kind of stuck with it. And it seemed like it was designed to be played over a campaign versus everything. So of course we do have our little comics in here, which we're not going to look at too much. We kind of already know the story. There's M.O.D.O.K, there's Baron Zemo and the Thunderbolts. There he's revealed. Board members are saying, take them out. So there's one last spoiler in here. One last little comic book. So if we get through all this, we have this at the end. Registration Acts. This is kind of leading up talking about the Civil War. Now, I don't think that that's going to actually be like the next set. But it could be kind of a neat, like they could add a scenario for it. Like we haven't had any of those in a while. We have like Green Goblin and Kang and Mojo. We kind of need to add a scenario maybe that's that kind of like the Red Hood. We had a bunch of little mini encounter decks. That'd be a neat idea versus a full campaign. The only problem with doing a full campaign like that of Civil War is you'd almost have to do pro registration and anti-registration sides. So you can play against either one. So that's like, how do you do 5 villains of each? You do a mini campaign of 3 of each and have 3 and 3? Maybe. I think I'd be more interested to be like, hey, here's a villain. Like, you're fighting Iron Man as a villain, like, as pro registration. They have a couple of different mini encounter decks you can add in there with the other heroes. Add Thunderbolts or whoever else you want in there. Add, whatever else you want to make it interesting. And then do the same thing and have the Captain America side where then you can play as the other heroes. And then I got a couple other encounter decks to make that up. And then that'd be kind of interesting. Then you could throw in you're fighting any of the things. You could have, oh, these heroes turned on us. It'd be kind of an interesting idea. Yes, definitely cool. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed Marvel Champions. Check out video 1 if you didn't for whatever reason to see Nick Fury and Maria Hill. And then hopefully when the next character comes out, we'll get a show off them. See you guys later. Bye.